And can you discuss how one of your TV news colleagues helped turn this into a national or even a worldwide story?
Now, the Thursday after the story broke, so crime was reported on Tuesday, it's Thursday. It's still really a regional story at this point. And I think part of that, I'm pretty sure part of that was because we had not heard a word out of the carjacking victim herself, the one carjacking victim who could talk to us, the mom of the kids, Susan. And so Thursday evening rolls around 5:30, 6. Not a word from Susan, not a word from the kid's dad, David. You know, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock rolls around. Still, the only family member I think who was talking was Susan's stepfather, who was kind of managing communications for the family at the time. So 11 o'clock, we all kind of do our lead stories. Every media outlet that's there is kind of camped out in Susan's stepfather's front yard because that's where their family compound is while this is going on. And my weekend anchor, Dave Stanley, is there with my one of the best interns I've ever worked with, Baron Johnson. And he's one of the few people we would actually let out and go out in the field, either do stories himself or go out with reporters and do that work. So, and of course, Dave is trying to teach him as much as he can, particularly things they don't teach him much in journalism school. So after everyone's 11 o'clock newscasts are done, everyone's still kind of there, still hoping to get, some kind of press conference or something. But again, it's at night, kind of out of townish. There's no good lighting. She'd be looking at 75 different lights from 75 different cameras, and it'd be just a madhouse. So Dave Stanley hatches a plan to try to get, the one-on-one interview with, actually one-on-two with Susan and David, the kid's dad. And he tells Barrett, if this works, if we get in there, you have exactly one job. And you're going to be taught one important lesson. And the important lesson is how to get thrown out of somebody's house. You get the story, but you get thrown out. So he gets, so Dave talks the family into the one-on-two interview, and then, pulls Barron aside. Your job is, so long as I'm interviewing David and Susan, your job is to keep that father-in-law out of the room. Just keep talking to him. Let him know it's only going to be a few more questions. We want to get your story out. We want to get your grandkids back. Just keep being his buddy while I get the story that needs to be told. So, Barron understands the assignment. Dave goes into the interview. Dave Stanley goes into the interview. David Smith, the kid's father, he asked David Smith one question, kind of right at the beginning, and then it's all on Susan. Asks her maybe 4 or 5 questions. Sometimes she's close to tears, sometimes she's in tears, sometimes she's keeping eye contact, sometimes she's not. And sometimes, like when she's, hands kind of in her face, Dave Stanley gets down on one knee so he can still make eye contact and look up at her while she's looking down. And has like his hand on her knee while he's asking like the last 2 questions. And finally, I don't even know what question it is, but eventually Susan just breaks down and is just really can't continue with the interview anyway. And at that time, her stepdad throws Dave Stanley out, throws Barron out, and then goes out in the yard and throws all the media out. So we're the only ones who have this video, right? And so this is Thursday night after 11 p.m. Eastern time. It is the lead story on the Today Show the next morning. And then every media organization everywhere is booking flights to Charlotte and then booking rental cars and hotel rooms in as close to Union, South Carolina as possible. to be on the story.